Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. This is the Angels in Politics broadcast. Always remember, you, only you. You are the news. Okay? You are the news. You are the talk of the town, talk of the city, talk of the underground. Um, and I am the white collar goon, your host. The creative and artistic manifestation of interest in politics. Somebody might look at me and say, Gabe, why don't you say what you really are? You know you are the femininity or the divine feminine cheerleader, and we really fuck with that. Some of us don't fuck with that because a lot of us are uncomfortable with a person like you being the cheerleader for feminine energy or for the divine feminine energy, and why is it that you are championing this? Why are you challenging other men to be in contact or cultivate their feminine energy so they could promote women as well? Why are you challenging women to be accountable for their competence, their intelligence, and their industriousness? Why are you challenging women for their to improve or enhance their intuitiveness, their ingenuity? Why are you challenging women to synthesize or synchronize their competence and intelligence and utilize their creativity and spiritual gifts and manifest them to build an industry behind their cleverness, their smarts, their ideas or ideologies, so they won't be able to lean on these progressives or conservatives or parents or non-parents or these groups or the government. I'm not promoting that you don't lead on anything. Like, once you unlock your powers, um if pleasure is what you want, it's coming your way. If capital is what you want, it's coming your way. If freedom is what you want, not only is it coming your way, it's coming your way full steam ahead. So be prepared for that, and prepare your vessel for that. Somebody says, well, how do you prepare your vessel? I mean, that's the five areas of expression. Of course, your mental, your psychological, your physical, your spiritual, your emotional body must be you must tackle all five of those. So I do my morning rituals and I do my daily rituals, and I have daily devotions, and I have these things that somebody says I'm not really ritualistic, I'm not really into the magic and the mysticism, and I'm not into all of that type of shit. And I'm gonna say, yo, you're right, but what I'm talking about is meditation. What I'm talking about is prayer. What I'm talking about is drinking water. What I'm talking about is fasting. What I'm talking about is exercise. What I'm talking about is mental acuity. What I'm talking about is flexibility on the physical plane, in the physical sense, but also in the cognitive sense. What I'm talking about is expanding your consciousness, so you're not only seeing this way, you're seeing so far that you can't even put it in the frame of this fucking camera that's ahead of me, that's in front of me right now. So you're able to receive that information. How do you receive that? You might need to fast. Fast from what? Somebody says, hey, I mean, I'm taking medication right now. Somebody says, hey, I'm still in high school right now. Somebody might say, hey, I'm like 70 years old. Like, should I be fasting right now? Don't rush into it, but maybe you could fast from something that you are currently doing that is holding you back from that receiving that information. Or maybe you should fast from something that you're doing that is preventing you from ascending up your hierarchy of needs, ascending to your self actualization pyramid, ascending to that level whereby it's like, okay, I knew I had some of these powers, I knew I had some of these spiritual gifts, but I didn't know exactly how to go about cultivating that. So maybe I should fast from social media for a desired or my own respective time, whatever time that I set aside or I have allocated for myself. Maybe I should fast from fast food. Maybe I should fast from fast from fast food. Maybe I should fast from sweets because I can't consume anything unless it has an abundance of sugar. Maybe I should fast from salt because I can't eat anything unless it has an abundance of salt or an abundance of sugar, because I am used to this Western diet, which is heavily focused on sodium. Maybe you should fast from, toxic material. Maybe it should be that Netflix. Maybe you're not looking at documentaries. Maybe you're not looking at constructive or conducive material that will uplift you, that will encourage you, that will benefit you in every sense of the word. Maybe in the mind, body, and the soul, and the health, wealth, and wellness. Maybe you should fast from whatever the case may be. Maybe it's video games. Maybe it's that. Maybe you should maybe you should take a period away from sex. I know your boyfriend may not like that. I know your male friends who you don't want to call boyfriends, but you know that they provide you with that comfort and convenient, I would say, energy to placate you, to pacify you, to provide you with a confidence boost, a self-esteem boost, and you know those guys who I'm talking about because they do it willingly, they do it easily, they do it all the time, they do it in abundance because they think at one point in time, if they keep complimenting you, if they keep DMing you, if they keep picking you up and dropping you off places, and they keep providing you with flowers, and they keep telling you how much you're pretty, I'm pretty sure if they keep reposting you, if they keep liking your pictures, if they keep commenting on your pictures, if they keep double tapping, eventually, maybe one day, maybe just one day, maybe one night, maybe if I continue praying, maybe if I continue fasting, maybe just one day, you might give me some pussy. Right? So you keep those guys around just simply for your own ego, simply for your own pride. Maybe you should fast from those motherfuckers. Okay? Um so what am I going to go into today? Like, I mean, I just wanted to give you that preface. I wanted to preface some of that earlier like information because um some people want to know, like, I don't know. Some people have, issues with some of my earlier information. I talked about the invisibility cloak. The invisibility cloak is like that well, it's from Harry Potter, but it's really like that, I will say, hidden technique that a lot of women do. It's almost a universal technique that women do. It's definitely universal because it's not like women from China have spoken with the women in Texas, in California, in Virginia, in New York City. And maybe they have, but it's not like that. The women in Eastern Europe have, in Russia, have spoken with the women in Africa. But like, what the chances are, anywhere you go, you'll find women who do this tactic. And I'll tell you a story. Um, I was working at the YMCA as a counselor, a coach for homeschool kids. Everybody know, well, I'm not gonna say everybody, but people can tell at this moment that I work a lot with people. I'm a people person. I'm a highly extroverted person. I feed off energy, so it's not necessarily just people of my age. It's people who are younger than me, people who are older than me, people who are considerably younger than me, and people who might be considerably older than me, which are still very young people. I feel like we never get old. It's just really our mentality that might age. It might be as a man and as a woman thinketh, he or she is. So if you are 70-year-old, if you're 70 years young, then you are. If you're 80 years young, you are. If you are 110 years young, oh my gosh, you're thriving and you're kicking and you're like the Benjamin Button or the Bernice Button of the world. And I love that. But if you're 22 and you feel old as fuck, then you probably are. If you're 18 and you think you're old and, raggedy and run down, I'm not going to say that. But if that's how you think and that's how you speak and you've articulated that, then in turn you will manifest that, and therefore you are. So I was at the YMCA and I was working with kids, and there was this lady who works for one of these multi-level organizations, and I'm pretty sure you know a lot of these multi-level marketing companies. Maybe you might know the main ones, and she had she had like a bottle or something like that that I remember. I remember the name brand of this bottle due to my good friends in college who were at one point in time doing this multi-level marketing program, and they were selling these goods out of their home. So I mean, I went to one of the, like, whatever they're called, like group sessions or Tupperware meetings, essentially. And long story short, I remember seeing the same brand. So as the lady is coming to pick up her children, I notice it and I mention it to her, and then she says, "Oh, yeah, 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 I'm into this." Before that, she had never mentioned her business or her side business, or that could be her mainstream business, because I believe her husband was in the military. Well, he definitely was in the military, so maybe he was the primary breadwinner in that sense, and she was taking care of her beautiful daughters. I really loved her kids. So I believe that business was her way of making income on the side, her side hustle, outside of her being a full-time wife, mother, provider, nurturer, logistician, accountant. Women have so many jobs at their house, at the household. They are administrators in every sense of the word. They are organizers. They are everything other than just being wife and mom. Like they have like 10,000 hats that they wear. They are coaches, they are counselors in every sense of the word. So shout out to women for sure. But this lady was like, when she found out that I knew about her business, it was like a light switch went off, and she ended up just changing her perception, or changing her demeanor towards me. Instead of, it was just, and we always like spoken like a simple like banter about like the kids. Oh, how's it going? Oh, it's going good. Oh yeah, your daughters are cool. Your daughters are this and that, and something like this. How were they today? How was the behavior? Oh yeah, they're great. They're great girls. That type of shit. But today, because I mentioned her water bottle, it was like, wait, like, oh my gosh, like, I've never seen you before. I've never seen you before. Like, wow, look at you. And then she goes into like a spiel. She goes into her spiel about like the company and where she came from and how she got started, and how I need to get in contact with her husband, and how he's gonna have to sit down with me and he'll take me out for coffee, and she just went on. It was like the stream of consciousness, and I let it go because I go on these streams of consciousness as well. Like, so we definitely had similarities with our gregariousness and our loquaciousness, and the fact that we can get it going. But I was like bombarded. I was, oh shit, like, I didn't even want to go there. Like, man, I don't want to sit down with your husband. I don't want to have the coffee. Like, trust me, man. I've been approached by these people like so many times, so many times. So it's like, okay, I got you. But like, I was sitting there just letting it go, and I'm not going to even get into like what happened after that. Well, long story short, I sat down with the husband and listened to his spiel, and I just respectfully declined. Thank you, sir, for the opportunity. You didn't need to. I mean, I declined the coffee, declined the offer to go to the meeting, because I knew what the meeting was about. But it goes. I wanted to speak to like that. Wait, that initial, like, I've never seen you before. That line is something that is, for some reason, used by women across the board. And I'm not saying all women do this, but I'm saying I've picked this up on more than 5 occasions, more than one I can count on my hand. So it's like, so this is a thing. Another story that really sticks out to me was being how I was working for this real estate company prior to me joining the cruise ship. I got my real estate license. I needed to hang my real estate license at a company, at a brokerage, so I could conduct real estate in the state of Virginia. So I was doing my research, and I was looking around at these multiple places, and I actually went to these different jobs. I mean, different companies. Let's say Long and Foster, and Berkshire Hathaway, which is by Warren Buffett, and Caldwell Banker, which is very popular, specifically in the West Coast, but it's old school. 21st Century, like these types of companies. But I ended up going to Keller Williams, which is a really big one. It's out of Texas, but it's all over the United States. It's all over the world, honestly. But ended up going to Keller Williams, and right now I'm in front of the library, but I'm really close, actually. Like, the building's right there. So it's kind of like full circle. So I remember going to this building, or going to this company, and I didn't jump right into it. When I first came, I kind of wanted to like be like, put some fillers out there. But I knew one of my homegirls, because my mans used to date her in high school. I knew one of the realtors, and my man's who used to date her is engaged now, and he's about to be married. And this young woman who we dated in high school ended up getting married years ago. So I mean, it was cool. We knew each other through our mutual friend. We knew each other through that. So she used to like come over to the crib when I had functions, or when we had kickbacks, or we were just going out to parties. Like, she would be around because this was my homie's girlfriend at the time, and this could be like 10 years ago, so it wasn't like it was super recent, but recent enough. And I will admit, like, do I look the same from 10 years ago? Do I look the same from 2008 or 2009? Well, yeah. Do I look the same from 11 years ago, 12 years ago, or 9 years ago? No, because I wasn't bald then. You know, I mean, my face might still be the same, or the way I speak. Well, I don't know. I can't speak to that. So, you know, like, what a lot of things may have changed, but for the most part, like, I would presume I didn't change that much on the physical sense. I definitely hope I changed internally, intrinsically, psychologically, mentally, you know, spiritually, emotionally. And this is before, like, well, I don't know if it's before my awakening process, but I definitely was going through, you know, I definitely matured. I mean, and I could admit to that, and I hope, and I could see that she did too. Like, you know, when I knew her, she was just in high school dating my homeboy, and now she's a married woman, and she's like killing it in real estate, like killing the game. Actually, where I saw her at this event, it was like the award ceremony for our company, and it was an annual award ceremony. So they were awarding the top sellers, you know, and she was one of them. She ended up getting an award for like best new seller, like, you know, best new artist in the world, or her best new artist at the Grammys, best new album. She was like our company's best new realtor, because she like killed it, dude. She fucking killed it. And really sharp girl, very smart, very industrious. She has her things together. She's with a good team. Boom. Very beautiful, very attractive, very feminine. She's the type of girl who, when you see her, you'll be like, wow, you know. And across the board, it doesn't matter whether you're a white guy, black guy, brown guy, whatever, Oriental guy, like, you would have liked her. Like, she's on it. Hair's done, makeup, the type of girl to wear the dress and or the skirt, and very professional, not, you know, very professional, very sophisticated, very refined, well spoken. She's on it. So boom, I ended up messaging her before I even joined the company to say, hey, buddy, this is Gabe. I ended up seeing you when I first came in for a interview with the boss. And the boss is a really pretty lady too. Shout out to Cosette. Shout out to her. She's a boss. She's really type A as well, like killing the game. So I remember saying, like, yo, I spoke to the boss lady, and I remember seeing you, like, tell me about the company I'm thinking about joining. And she responded back, was like, yo, I'm so glad you reached out. Yo, boom, 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 I'm killing it. I'm doing well in real estate. You should definitely get on board. This is a great environment. Boom, boom, boom. She was definitely giving me, you know, positive vibes, and she still is. The funny thing was, I ended up joining the company, and like a week or two after that, they had this award ceremony. So I ended up going, not because like I sold any real estate. I still haven't sold any real estate to this day. But, like, you know, I was going because I was a part of the team, and it's a social environment. Of course I'll be there, right? So boom, I get there, and I sit at a table, and I see her. I see her at this table, you know, with her partner, and there's other people at this table, and I sit down, and I may be like one seat away from her. Like, if I'm here, like, homegirl is here. Like, homegirl is like arm's length. Like, literally, I can touch her. I need a little bit of oil. I can literally touch homegirl. I noticed that maybe it was wrong for me. Maybe I should have came and sat down on it, but like, hey, buddy, this is me. Here I am. Nice to see you. You know, maybe I should have done that. Maybe I should have made a point to, like, get her attention, even though I'm literally sitting next to her, and be like, how's it going? You know, like, but, you know, I didn't know anybody. I just got there, and I'm an extroverted guy, but I mean, I can read the room, and I can tell that she not sort of, definitely wasn't opening her body language for me to say anything. So I was like, okay, so maybe this is a thing. So I just sat there, and eventually more people come, because I mean, I was there a little early, and then more people come to the table, and now the table's full, and now, you know, some of the guys who are, you know, we're realtors at this time, so people who are realtors are extroverted people. Even if they're not, they are forced to be outgoing people, because how else will you sell real estate unless you put yourself out there? So, you know, there were some guys who were like top-notch killers, like, killing the game in real estate. I'm talking like bringing in the bacon, bringing in big bucks. And some of those guys, the top sellers, the OGs, I would say, of the real estate company, of that company, sat at our table. So I ended up being like, damn, I'm a new guy. I'm a rookie. I haven't sold any real estate. And right here, my homegirl, who I knew from high school, ends up winning the award for like Realtor of the Year. Her team, her other girl that she's with, was like, they won the best, the highest selling team, a real estate team of the year. The people who were in front of me were like the OGs, and they sold so much. I'm like, damn. So I'm sitting here at the best table. And finally, one of the guys who was talking to me, he's like, "Oh, what's your name?" Blah blah blah. Not too long. Yeah, I'm Gabriel. You know, I'm from around here. And all of a sudden, the girl who's next to me, who I knew, who I messaged like not only a week or two before, who used to date my homeboy, who I saw whilst I was in college. And I mean, like, the homegirl finally was like, "Oh, Gabe, is that you? Oh my gosh, I didn't recognize you. Like, is that you? Like, I almost didn't see you. I didn't know that was you." And I remember sitting there like, okay, so this is a thing. Like, this is a real thing. Like, girls really do this. Like, and I don't know why. Like, I understand that sometimes girls don't want to risk embarrassment. I understand that sometimes girls don't want to put themselves out there to say like, "Hey, what up, buddy? Hey, Gabe from high school. Hey, is that you, Gabe from high school?" Because maybe she could have got it wrong. Maybe she could have said, and listen, I get it. I get it that if girls make any type of attempt or acknowledgement with some guys, certain guys, as far as conversation, as far as just initiating a conversation, as far as eye contact, as far as anything that could resemble or convey quote unquote interest. Some guys, and then she's looking at me, and you know my archetype, the challenging archetype, the maverick archetype, the campaigning archetype, the tyrannical or the tyrant archetype, the leadership, the champion archetype. She could have been like, "Okay, Gabe, I without me looking your way, I can feel the kind of energy, I can feel your personality. So I don't even want to give you or give guys like you a a quote unquote in for you to like think I'm interested," because she's a happily married woman, not interested at all. Like, and I get that. So I'm thinking like maybe that's why girls do that. Maybe girls don't acknowledge guys or say anything to guys because they're in happy relationships. Maybe they're married. Maybe they don't want to have any type of like confusion as to like, no, bro, like, don't come over here and try to look me up and down and lick your lips and say some smooth nothings or whisper some smooth nothings in my ear or hit me with some game, because this is not what it is. And maybe that's what it is. Or maybe, I don't know. Maybe she just didn't want to risk embarrassment. I don't know how she would be embarrassed. But like, maybe some girls just don't want to say hi because they might be like, "Oh, maybe I don't know you. You know, maybe you're not the person who I thought you were." I don't know. Girls don't want to have egg on their face. Girls don't want to make themselves or present themselves to be in a compromising situation. So there's a number of reasons why she probably didn't speak to me, but like, it was more than just the speak. It was like literally like her body language. Her body language was shifted to a point where she made a distinctive, it was like a palpable like decision to not even shift her glance to where I was. Like, it was like a real thing. It was like, yo, I mean, if that guy would have never spoken to me, she would have never presented herself in a I guess in a way that we could have had or exchanged a conversation, because she did not want that, you know? And I'm wondering, like, what did I do to her? And I don't think it's something personal, because clearly I mean, I haven't spoken to her or seen her in years, and the only way we know each other is on good terms because we used to date our homeboy. So maybe, I mean, you know, she used to date my homeboy. I mean, and she's married now, so it wouldn't even be an issue, and he's married now, so it shouldn't even been an issue. But I don't think it was a personal issue, guys. That's the reason why I'm telling you this. The invisibility cloak is something that guys have on because I think it's about polarity. I mentioned that she was very, very beautiful, and she is. gorgeous, but she's very feminine as well. You know, she's the type to wear the makeup, the hair, long hair, the dress, the heels. She's that type. And then here I am. I'm sitting there with the all black on, and maybe my posture, maybe my voice, maybe the darkness of my skin, maybe it's the way I speak, whatever the case may be, was polarizing. And I feel like that polarity, that masculine polarity with the feminine polarity, that the divine masculine, and I'm not saying I activated my divine masculinity, but maybe it was the divine masculine with the divine femininity that was so polarizing that it goes into sexual politics. It was political at that moment. It was very political. That was a political interface. That was a political interaction. It was political because it was nonverbal. It was nonverbal, but there was so much at play because I feel like the polar the contrast, the stark contrast between the two energies of male and female that's what I like to talk about. That's what I want to crystallize to you. That's what I want to contextualize to you. It's not about what I just mentioned before. It's just simply we have a guy here and we have a woman here, and the best thing to do is not to say anything because those energies, when they are together, it produces something. And it may not produce something in a sexual sense, and it may not produce anything in a oh my gosh, we love you type of sense. It's just uncomfortable to some people. So I feel like a lot of women, instead of engaging in it, they will just rather not look your way at all.